If you had told me after Inferno that we were going to go to Mirage, Vince, I would have called you a lunatic, a madman. But here we are. A ridiculous showing on Nuke, a solid enough CT side from Movistar Riders, but then what it was the grit and determination of their T side. In some of those crazy pistol rounds, I don't know how they pulled it out of the hat, but they absolutely did. So as we jump into Mirage, if I've learned anything about Riders today, it's that they can pull it out of nowhere. And so I will not let my guard down as they take to the T side of this third map. Will they best G2? Number 3 ranked team in the world? You said 30 teams between them. And Riders, they don't seem to care.
Oh no, they don't give a damn about the script, Scrawny. They're here to tear that up in front of your eyes and watch the world burn. And you know what? Any preconceived notions I had, they're off the table now. This is anybody's game. Kenny using that smoke to try and pierce some USP headshots. Nothing forthcoming. Gonna push through the smoke, takes down one, and nearly denies the bomb. How is Steel alive? How does he survive on 2 HP? That's ridiculous.
How does he do things like this? How does he get Deegs through the walls of heaven on Nuke? Steel is made of something different here today. Jax, he's going to come up from ramp with his other 3 teammates trying to push off of that CT spawn. They've got 2 Ts deep on jungle and also the Palace player. Smoke's going to go down in the middle of the bomb site. Doesn't do too much. That's actually not for the right plant. A miscommunication that allows Mopaz to now wrap back around Amanek. He executes him. Hunter's been taken down by the player inside of Khan. Alex, he's just buying time, peeking back in as Jax duels and dies to bomb. Goodbye. Everybody other than Alex goes down.
Man, Alex is something special, Scrawny. Each map, even when they got battered, they got wrecked on Inferno, Alex was still there. 43 kills, 35 deaths with 80 ADR and a 1.11 rating. Considering how bad that first map went, is actually really impressive. No one is over a 1 rating on his team barring Alex. So it goes to show how much of a performance that he is having. Big 3K. G2 now into a bit of a full buy, just barring Kenny S and Jax, who are going to dip down to about the 1,000 to 1.5k. But Movistar Riders, they're off to a cracking start again, man. Like, I'm really excited to see what this map has in store.
Same. Absolutely same. There's no reason, after Nuke, there's no reason to believe they can't finish off the series. But we've got Amanek with a nice 5-7 trade into the ladder room. Unfortunately for him, it's not those prized AKs that he gets his hands on, but just the measly MAC-10. Mind you, it is Amanek. And he is a MAC-10 god. One of the best. I mean, he put the 10 in his official Valve autograph, right? That's commitment. Amanek 10.
Still, even with the aforementioned Amanek with his coveted MAC-10, they find themselves back against the wall one more time because it's going to be an A-centered hit. And the bulk of the G2 players over on B, pressing for aggression is Jax. That's at least going to allow them to rotate those players over. But they may not get there fast enough. It may just be to watch the site fall. Smoke, lack of smoke is going to allow Kenny to tee off with the Deagle at the back of the site, but there's only 1 kill comes his way. Second Deagle is opening up from CT box. There's 2 players there. They could even go for a stack, and now Jax is going to go for that re-peek with the Deagle. He misses his shots. The Deagle giveth and taketh away. And now it's going to start to give a few more kills and give a bit better of a chance at maybe closing this round out. Low with the MAC-10, though, ripping around the corner, leaving Nexa 1v2. Doesn't have a kit, doesn't have any grenades, and very low HP. Doing damage to Lowell, but they don't need to peek him anymore. The bomb is planted for Connector. They can just bide their time and wait. Each second that passes makes it less and less likely that Nexa clutches this. He taps the bomb, waits for Steel to show his hand. Steel just needs to play the time, and he plays it to perfection. Nexa can't clutch. Movistar will have a second. Way too close for composite. Maybe Nexa can actually save this AK as well, which would be a really nice take out of this. Indeed he does. It's not too bad for G2.
Man, we're getting fireworks, and we are only 2 rounds deep. There's definitely a chance for more damage to be done there by G2. The flank around from ramp, you know, we had Steel sitting on the benches, fully exposed to the player on ramp. The initial shots as well versus the bomb carrier could have connected for further damage, but that's just a mechanical shortcoming by the side of G2 in terms of the Deagles. I mean, they already had one of their hands behind their back, seeing as it was just pistols to play with. But there was a chance there, a very real chance. And that's not going to feel good for Riders either. Sure, you get the round win, but at a very costly nature. And Nexa with that 1 AK, well, he's looking to come in swinging. Jax with the Deagle headshot to kick off the round. There are no T's at the top of mid. It's Kenny S with another sidearm frag. Again, just the Deagles doing the damage. And Riders, they're out. They want to bail back off of ramp. They're going to find Hunter just running haphazardly through their spawn. Still, Nexa able to cut off Lowell. This is a 4 versus 2. A second AK picked up. A MAC-10 added to the tally. And all of a sudden, Riders just desperate to hit this B site, but there's no way they make it there first.
Well, they certainly won't. And to make matters worse, as a HE lined up, this is going to chunk Easter down to 63. Just makes him that little bit softer when it comes to being sprayed down. And they also have the retreat blocked off as well. Nexa's watching the back. He's actually perched up on middle, so he's going to more deny the underpass movements to connector. Oh no, and that's where Movistar are making moves towards. 39 seconds. They've got to keep pressing forward. There's not enough time to change their mind again. The question now is, do they want to save their AKs? I know it's a bitter pill to swallow, but when you know that G2 came into this round with a bunch of Deagles, you actually are at risk of giving those AKs away to your opposition. They have both died in middle. I'm not sure that the remainder of the CT is going to be able to pick them up. So that's a bit of a nuisance for G2. But of course, they don't care. They just won the round squaddy with Deagles and a saved AK. They're loving it.
Yeah, life's good for G2. Again, shaky situation in the pistol round, in the conversion round, and then obviously this one that they actually pull over. So Alex, I mean, off to the races already to start on Mirage 4 frags. Steel, who we saw do big things in high pressure moments on Nuke, also up there, a couple of kills. It's the rest of Riders that have to come online, and it's not going to be easy as they get relegated to the Deagles. At least that's what you know, the normal trend would tell you. That's what everything you know about Counter-Strike would tell you. But everything I've seen so far from Riders today doesn't quite make sense. So a round like this, they have earned our respect. They have earned the fact that we remain on high alert, despite them being at a disadvantage in terms of the weapons. But where do they find that pick? There is no CT overextending here. Hunter very much just tucked back behind the workbench, and Kenny S's op sings as he finds Mopaz first and foremost.
Oh, and the man can carry a tune with the gun. There's no doubting that. Movistar will be hoping this is the only performance. Go ahead.
Why? Okay, I was about to say, why is the AK on Alex with no armor? But he does decide to throw it over to Steel. I'm like, aim punch is going to kill this guy. But never mind. Never mind.
It's a good question, and I think they realize it as well. Maybe a little bit too late, though, as they're pushing up short. HE backs off the wall. And that will be the explosives doing the bulk of the work for G2. Looking to navigate their way out of this round without any loss of life. And considering it was a Movistar Riders force buy, that is going to be music to the ears of G2. Very nice round. AK's picked up aplenty. And Movistar Riders, they're into an eco.
Goes from bad to worse. Now we start to watch G2 in the realm of normalcy just rack up some rounds here. That's what's expected. What do you do with 5 Glocks? Rush Palace, look for the bomb plant, try to pressure that one CT player. That could be it. It's looking likely. One to the top mid, one to the ramp. There's actually just 2 defenders here in position, so a lot of this depends on Jax. If he stays tucked in, he could be fine. And they start to trickle into him. Just looking to give cover here as they could try and prioritize plant, but Jax hits all the frags he has to. No extra money, no frags coming in for Riders. Just Jax with a 3-piece, easy shutdown in a very desperate situation where Riders understood they had little to work with. But now, they're right back into the guns.
Yeah, no delusion there at all. And I love the positioning for G2. They didn't put anybody up close on Shadow that could have got overwhelmed and swarmed by the Glocks and potentially fragged out. They wanted to get this as clean as possible. Keep as many guns going forward as they can. And look at their economy as a result. Nearly $12,000 for Nexa. just shy of 8.5k for Amanek, and Jax moving towards 10,000. There is a slight gap in the smoke on window, and Hunter is making the most of it with a spray. A little bit labored, so he couldn't transition across for the second. That's a good trade overall for Movistar Riders. The downside is no more smokes left, and Alex has taken a chunk of damage in the process. So G2 now going to be looking to double stack that catwalk and regain control of middle.
Kenny S, confident enough to take to the top of ticket, actually falls back into the flash, still recovers. Versus Steel. He'll get that man advantage. He's got to be careful, though. Esports still over towards the ramp with a second player behind him. We've got Riders in a position here where they could easily split the A site, although Catwalk could compromise Alex, and he's very wary of it. But his attention drawn in two directions at the worst possible timing. He drops to 23 HP and has two CTs trying to knock his head off. Kenny S gets the headshot versus Lowell. Down goes the second tee off of the ramp. So it's all wrapped up by Jax. He still only has one death, just like Nexa. That A site, difficult to compromise. G2 Esports just not even shuddering, not even stuttering in the face of these pistol rounds. Not, of course, something that they could afford on Nuke. On Nuke, it shook them to the core. It rattled their bones, Vince. And now it's just easy pickings. Seems like G2, at this point, just thought they could get ahead of themselves on Nuke, let their guard down in crucial moments, and allowed Riders to take away that win. I don't want to take anything away from the Spaniards here. That performance on Nuke was awesome. Gave me the reassurance that they can come out and win any certain round. But you're not going to win any rounds if you still have 3 players on 1 kill each 6 rounds into the game.
Absolutely not. And I think this is really a byproduct of what we talk about a lot when we say, look, it's a new map, totally different ball game. Nuke plays very differently to Mirage, fundamentally differently. They're almost opposite ends of the spectrum in Counter-Strike. And I feel like whereas Nuke, you saw a lot of these outside hits really get around the back of the CTs, when G2 were on the defense side and really run havoc with them, there's not as many opportunities to get out fast and take these little advantages. G2 clearly a lot more comfortable fending off against these eco pushes, and time again, you're just seeing Movistar run into the gauntlet, run into the blender. They're trying their best to throw interference plays out, but G2 are just a step ahead of them every step of the way. And Jax sprays into Palace. Lowell dead. The bomb is still in there with Eastor. But there's no reason for them to move out. Jax is now coming through on this smoke. It's going to clear just in time to catch Eastor. With him, the bomb will fall, and G2 likely will pick up a 5th and another clean sweep round, unless Steel or Alex can put some plays down.
Molly to the underpass just to ensure it. So Alex, he's waiting. Oh, and he gets the chance. Cuts Hunter off guard, but then extends into the cat peek from Amanek. Only the bomb carrier left. And he's not even going to get past that staring gaze of Kenny S. Ready for the Palace peek. He is 9-2 on the sniper here. And Kenny, he feels everywhere. We've had him over on ticket. We've had him inside of window. He's been floating in jungle and just finding impact at all sorts of different moments. Strong CT showing coming out of G2 to start this. We are now, well, a quarter way through what could be a long regulation. Riders are going to have to give us something to talk about. At least they're back in with the guns. Kenny S, quick mid pick. Has to dodge those grenades, and it's negligible damage in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, he's not even going to notice that, really, but they will notice Jax being perforated by Lowell, who looks to smash a second, and Hunter walks in. It's chipped away. Movistar Riders, hell of a start. They have not got a bomb plant in the last 5 rounds. This is the best opportunity that they have had since the pistol and the second round, and they have got to convert this, Scrawny. There is no possible excuse for not taking this round down, especially as Amanek's been found in underpass. There's got to be the round win going their way.
Yeah, and they're poised to take it with a great overhead as well. 5 players alive, tons of cash. Kind of the exact sort of gun round you need. Kenny S, well, he's going to get caught off guard by Alex. He does not expect that one. Tries to just dip, dive, duck, dodge back behind the planter, but even that little saving grace is stripped away from him. And obviously, G2 No problem, man. Nexa had $16,000 ready for the rebuy. He drops 8.6K, just kind of, financing the habits here of G2. So, will the T-sides break through? It was 5 rounds in a row with no bomb plant and nothing more than a single kill. No reason to ever expect such a clear and convincing round win from the Riders, but they got one through. Just like on Nuke, I would argue, where they start winning rounds with pistols, it's when we don't really expect it. You're almost lulled into this false sense of confidence. And G2, I feel like they could arguably have been there. This is going fine for them. Fantastic CT side on Mirage, a map that, well, we know they can certainly play. However, Riders just gave them the reminder. Lowell out of nowhere, yeah? I was just questioning the individuals of Riders. I said these 3 players can't be on 1 kill. Lowell changes that in an instant. That A-ramp play was everything for Riders last round. And then, of course, it may have been the opening, but they coupled it very nicely with a slow, methodical mid-play. They even had that insurance policy of a B hit towards the end of it. So everything was good. G2 need to bounce back now. Shut this down and keep the CT side rolling. But Riders, they'll take to the apartments, leaving Bomb back and 2 guys in underpass. Hunter in the smoke top mid as Kenny watches underground. And sure enough, the Riders get ever closer.
But so is Hunter. He's moving in. He's ready. He's pounced, but he's been sideswiped by Eastor, who's having none of it. Amanek now with the AWP goes aggro into Apps and does take one down. And keeping in mind the bomb is over on this side of the map, for as much as they've done elsewhere, Movistar going to have to waste a bit of time to go back and pick that one up. Meanwhile, Jax makes short work of Lowell, who peeks out of Palace. But they have got the wraparound. Alex is now moving in the kitchen. He's waiting to see if he can gobble down some more frags here. And Amanek stuck in the app still aggressively. The barrel of the gun. Has Alex seen the barrel of the gun there? It doesn't look like he has. Now he's definitely caught Amanek. Pops him in the back of the head. Opens up B for business. And Jax is going to get caught potentially in no man's land. Or perhaps not. Alex was watching Catwalk. He was totally caught off guard. Hearing gunshots over on there as his teammate fell alongside him. And now Eastor 1 and 2. Flips across for the first. Has 30 seconds to caught with a flashbang out. And Nexa will turn the tides back in favor of G2 at the cost of 4 players.
Woo-hoo-wee. That round gets you puckered. That was a wild one, man. Nexa able to come up from Catwalk a little bit faster than what Eastor would have expected. He thought he had time to play the utility there, but Nexa was right on the side of the smoke, creeping ever closer. And G2, they double that round count over top of Riders. The T side able to rebuy, but it's not the consecutive round win. We had a moment like this on Nuke as well, where it looked like Riders were going to fall flat in the second half, but then they were able to create the force wars, the wishy-washy back and forth that allowed them into the half. Well, right now, they face the same situation. Very little presence coming out of G2 in mid, instead exploring Palace, and there was a player in here. He's now back closer towards their spawn in Lowell. He was the reason they compromised a ramp and got that one full gun round win. Does he double back to Palace? Does he find out Jax? If he does, it's in the 4v5 because Hunter shuts down Alex in middle. He was trying to explore through middle and he gets caught on the edge of the smoke. Steel's still back in B-apps with bombs, got teammates all around him, and Mopaz, he's going to try to turn this one up a bit, try to crank the pressure on Cat, pushing Hunter back ever so slightly.
I was very unfortunate. Alex just... his elbow and his barrel of the gun stuck through the smoke, and Hunter couldn't believe his luck. Had a grenade out, had a second glance, and now here come Movistar as they look to trample and trounce the CT defense. Not a great Molotov tossed in there, and now Nexa can be stuck behind the van. Opens up with the first. Lowell's taking some damage. He's burning to 60, but still alive, still in the fight. And looking to annul the defense's partnership. As Kenny S with the AWP comes in one more time. Mopaw's gonna get the flank, waiting to see that second player. He spots 2 targets. He dispatches of both of them. And now the last man standing on B has also been dealt with. 3 seconds is just about enough time. I think it's gonna be so close. Gets it with a millisecond to go. And it's almost like Jax assumed the bomb plant couldn't go down. He can't believe his luck. He has to go back in one more time. That grenade doesn't land on Eastor. And now Jax in so much trouble gets flicked. Mopaw's flank was everything for that round. Unbelievable turn for Movistar Riders.
Absolutely nuts. And it looked like that player who was sitting on the bomb site staring at the window on market. I mean, in terms of G2 setups, they thought they had everything under lock. The fact that even Jax comes flanking back around through market as Mopaz completely annihilates, unravels, defreds that defense. Just a matter of moments make the separation on that one, but now it's aggression coming out of Lowell, and Jax is going to shut him down. His 12th kill. Jax at the top of the scoreboard for the server at the moment, but the CTs, they've got vision. Hunter pinned in position within connector gets a crucial 2K, and at the snap of a fingers, it is a 5v2 situation here. Nexa, he cuts down the next one. Eastor, he's gonna jump out from the windows, desperate for anything, and he only gets that one kill. G2 right back in control. The Force Wars of 2020 in full effect, man. 6 rounds in a row, potentially back and forth if Riders can break through again. They've got the money to do it thanks to Easter's extra cash, but if he wants that op, Vince, there will be clear shortcomings. And in the face of the double sniper setup between Kenny S and Amanek, you cannot afford shortcomings.
I'm just so perplexed, Scrawny, at their decision to force Catwalk. Without any idea whether a player was residing in Connector, Hunter with a double spray barely had to break a sweat. It's 2 free frags, and Movistar just ran into another disadvantageous position. A very odd decision to make, but they have to put that to the back of their minds now. Hunter in Connector one more time, does get flashed out this time. That should have been tossed in last round, but it's also going to have bolstered up Kenny S. Tossing an incendiary to the back boxes. He's going to look to try and pounce on Mopos, who peeks the right side. He misses the shot, Kenny, but survives because his flames finish it off. But he goes down straight away to Alex, and it's a good trade for Movistar Riders.
Yeah, a little barbecue charred tapas there at the top of mid. Mopaz first casualty. Kenny couldn't get back. He got caught on an attempt to jump around the cat corner. So very good catch by Alex there to trade it. A defense in the form of Jax on ticket, 2 CTs deep in the apartments. That's where we could very well get a next clash. But no, Riders, they're going to rock that bomb back and check out this play from Nexa, wasting no time to go sniffing in through the apartments. But there is still a landmine in Alex on mid windows. This cuts off a very crucial route, but it does still enable the CTs to just straight up stack this bomb site. They've got Hunter and Jax back behind ticket, a Molotov and flashbang between the two of them. Amanek, he wants to play this cautious because there is a chance that T's are inside the window, and he knows it. So the grenades start flying over, all while Nexa gets closer and closer on the flank. There are 8 seconds left over. Jax, he's going to go ahead and get the kill. Amanek off catwalk, that's everything. And there's no time for the bomb to be recovered. There's no chance for Riders to recuperate any losses. This one's done. 2 kills for Alex, that's all they had.
Yeah, that flank from G2, to have the clarity of mind and the conviction to go for those flanks and get the information as soon as possible is so huge. And again, I feel like we're repeating ourselves a little bit here, Scrawny, but it's the Alex show. How many times already have we seen him have exceptional starts, leading by example, throwing out double, triple kills, getting entries, getting everything that Movistar could ask for, and then when he needs that second player to push, when he needs that support, no one's there. No one's there to lend him a helping hand. He needs somebody here to step up, because as well as Movistar Riders have done by grinding out a couple of these rounds, keep in mind 2 of their 4 rounds off the back of the pistol. Since then, it's been 8-2 scoreline in favor of G2, and Alex has been doing so much work. He's double anyone else on his team in terms of frags. He's not top in ADR. Lowell's actually got him beat in that respect, but other than that, no one's really doing a great deal.
3 pistols to play with here in the 13th. Chances running slim, and there's a big difference between the 8-7 and something like an 11-4, so these rounds are going to be crucial. It's wild to think that in a lot of the rounds picked up by G2, we haven't even had bomb plants for Riders. The game feels close, but the rounds not always. Kenny S sets his eyes upon Connector, sees the heads of his enemies, and he cuts down Easter early. That does enable the bomb to cross over to the jungle, but it gets spotted by Hunter. He has to keep his head on a swivel because Palace is also a threat. Mopaz, he's doubled from the left to the right side, goes for the peek and gets dropped. Now that bomb is a lot of information. The last two Ts remaining are the ones who had guns at the get-go. So they always had everything to do. But now they don't have pistols to set them up, and it doesn't look good for them, Vince. Lowell, he is the last man remaining. They already knew where he was, and he is in the most sectioned-off sanctuary of all of Mirage. Even despite walking back into his own spawn, he could get cut off here by Amanek at any moment's notice.
Yeah, and he's hoping that he can save a Galil. That's how grim this actually is. It's not as if he's got an AWP or an AK, a Galil. Gonna get smoked out, and now Amanek from behind. If G2 really wanted to be some... the only words I can think of I can't say on the stream. If they want to be a nightmare, let's go with that. They want to be a nightmare, they could have killed him after time. They decided to not go for that. So instead, at least he will get a bit of, you know, round loss bonus chipping in, but it's going to be another very rough ride. And G2 into a 9th round. And again, you did touch on this, Scrawny. Since G2 started winning, not a single bomb plant. That tells me that when they're pushing sites, they're getting well and truly forced back, and the only 2 rounds they won were due to splitting, dividing G2, and then conquering them afterwards. But when it comes to straight-up hits, they are constantly being swatted away. G2's defense is almost being impenetrable.
It's been stellar. At its weakest moments, it's still been solid. There's the peak for Lowell, who once upon a time single-handedly won a round for Riders when he came out from that ramp room, but he's been kind of sectioned off. He's been cooled out of the situation. Little boost perhaps here. Yeah. All right. Let's get Amanek in position. Ts are starting to encroach closer to the B site. They've got that footing on the catwalk that could lead them into a nice healthy split. But there is a lot of pressure on Easter. He doesn't want to get caught off by that CT who could be watching Cap from A. NES actually moving past it. So while the CTs figure out the A site, it's the commitment onto B. They come barreling inwards. Kenny blinded, shuts down the single Cap player. There's Amanek with 1 frag. Nexa down to 2 HP, but he just blows them away off of the balk. Never allowed entry. Even the first guy who got feet towards the bomb site, Vince, was just pinned to the ground and held out of it. 10-4, and an 11th looking likely. Not going to be the best of buys for Riders, and they haven't found much even with the full-fledged rifle rounds, let alone something like this. Tech 9, Mac 10, Galil, and little nades for the AKs that they actually hold on to.
Another round without a bomb plant. Another round that looked pretty toothless from Movistar Riders. They were hoping for entry frags. They're just not getting them. And for this is going to be the classic rush B. Through a Molotov, there's now going to be stalled, and HE is going to be firing their way. Oh my goodness, that HE absolutely obliterates them. But Amanek decides to overpeak behind it. Look at the health on Movistar. Collectively, they are limping towards a potential 5th round, and G2 in good positions across the map now to try and fend this one off. 1 smoke, 1 Molotov at the disposal of the Ts. And if this grenade is well timed, it could actually finalize the frag, but no. Mopaz and Alex get chipped by it. Not they have much health to play with. And they're going to try and get an entry in middle. I mean, that's really all they could hope for.
128 HP for the 4 remaining players. And it could still be enough. Ooh, baby. They get Kenny. Big scalp to take. They've got all the footwork here on mid, but Nexa, he creeps in from underground. I didn't even see that coming. A consistency is Nexa just throwing himself into these sticky situations, trying to suss out every situation, and still they have managed to get that footing on the B site. Why? Because Nexa comes in from underpass. So of course, the likelihood of a compromised B site is shown to the Riders. If that B player's gone all the way through apps, then what remains on bomb site? Maximum 1 player. They call it out. They get their footing. They could find their 5th round. Now Jax, he's going to lay down that smoke. He's going to try to sprint inwards. Lowell on that back corner has a bit of cover. They're buying time for Mopaz on the flank, and it's the Opper to set up shop. It's the Opper to close the half. 5 rounds for Riders as they switch over to the defense. Vince, it is not that convincing. It is not the same nature of a half that we got on Nuke, but it's at least enough of a round count that if they can win it with the pistol, as they have for the majority of the pistol rounds in this series, then they do have a chance at bringing this one all the way back. It's a slim chance, and I still have my money on G2 if I had money in it to begin with. But Riders have earned our respect. They did something on Nuke that nobody would have ever saw coming. So why not do it again here on Mirage?
Well, as you said, after the first half on Inferno, every comeback starts with a solid second pistol, and that's exactly what Movistar have got to be picking up for themselves now. They've got to get this pistol round under wraps. I fully agree with you. It was far from convincing. At no point did I feel like Movistar Riders had that map, had that half under their control. They started with wins. They ended with a round win. But in the middle portion and the bulk of that half, it was all G2. Very few plants. 2 plants in 15 rounds. And the 2 plants were back-to-back from the pistol into the second round. 13 rounds in a row, they did not manage to put up a plant on the board. And here we sit, 5 rounds on the scoreboard. With the second half coming up, G2 on the T side. I'm going to be curious to see what kind of strat that they run in here. If we're going to see something really aggressive and almost go for that no-respect style as we saw in Inferno. If you remember, they ran through middle and they got completely wrecked off a crossfire. Let's see if they go for something like that again here. See if they go for like a B rush or maybe an A rush.
First ready comes in from Alex. Riders want to get going. Crazy to me, Vince, that, you know, we had the pistol round and the following to the favor of Riders on that T side, and then not a single consecutive couple of rounds ever won. The other 3 just one and dones. That shaky middle ground, you know, when we get that back and forth for 5 rounds, if they had stabilized an economy over top of G2's broken cash, then that would have been their chance to get this up to 6, 7, maybe 8. But they were boxed out of that. And again, another wild one, but in every single round the Riders won, no defuse. Ever. So it was either the straight up round win, not even these nitty gritty post plant situations. Just a weird half. Kind of leaves me with a bit of an awkward taste. Here we go. Second pistol coming in quick. Or rather, not that quick. Kenny S and Jax, they take to the underground, and they heard the footsteps of Mopaz up in apartments. He's going to be calling for this A rotate. Ooh, Movistar Riders, they're not wasting any time on the info. And look at G2, they're going now.
And Hunter can hear that rotation as well, and he's going to stop that dead in his tracks. Any hope of a flank has been neutralized with that. Kenny S with a Glock, turns tail, and a lightning-fast pistol goes the way of G2. And they're going to get their second pistol of this best of 3. Yeah, you heard that right. Movistar Riders' pistols have been on point, and they're still struggling 11-5 behind.
Dire straits. Sketchy situation. Bit of a pickle. Riders are going to force buy. Well, not entirely. Again, they do this. Everybody gets the deagle, everybody gets a bit of utility. Steel, he gets the frag. Alex, whoa, we know who the king is. He got 2 grenades, Vince.
Just flexing on those peasants, I guess. I mean, understandably,
must be nice, buddy.
He's been their top fragger throughout, right?
Yeah.
So why not? Give him that extra flashback. There you go. There's your reward. Walking down onto window is G2 as they look to try and take some aggression. I was about to say towards B, but just noticing that the bomb is traversing through their spawn. So it's going to be a slowly gambled push onto the A site. They do have enough grenades to lock off all the key choke points. You're looking at stairs, jungle, and CT. Going to be tossed out. Lowell has spotted a player with his shoulder peak, though, so he's going to underarm that smoke. But G2 don't care too much about that, and especially with the kill through the smoke from Nexa, they're now going to be pushing behind this. He's going to go in with more with his Gillo. There's a second, looking for a third, and he did actually have the bomb. The bomb's in a horrible spot. But fortunately for G2, Jax is going to put his bullets down range of the MAC-10. But my God, Scrawny, when I saw that bomb drop on stairs, I feared the worst.
Yeah, start sweating a little bit, Vince, there? Started just losing your hair?
Too late for that.
Well, 7 rounds up. Another awful looking buy for Riders. Damn, man. I'm not a religious man, Vince, but that nuke performance made me believe in something. And now I'm a little bit disappointed that Riders weren't able to make it happen just yet. They need to find that magic that somehow allowed them back in the second half of Nuke. Alex gonna go for the flash into Palace. Again, Riders making plays with the little tools they have to work with. Easter. What? Must have heard the utility fumbling or something. Spams through the smoke, gets the opening kill. That's Amanek out of the equation. Steel, he's gonna eat the flashbang. Still able to get the frag versus Jax. Now they have an AK. And there's only one Kalashnikov on the side of G2. 5 versus 3.
Do have Nexa though, that's pivoted through on the ramp side, is trying to get round the back, and they do have this aggressive play from Lowell in Palace, getting information. But Nexa trying to hear for some info of his own to try and call out to the rest of his teammates where they need to position next. Good news for G2 is only one of those fallen weapons has been picked up. The bad news is it's an AK, and Steel has it behind some Kevlar. 30 seconds now. A-Site definitely the weaker of the two. There's a double stack on the apps near the Vans, which is Eastor with his Deagle. But all of this aggression now going to come to a head on A. This is where Lowell's spot is vital. Movistar Riders need Lowell to have some impact from his rotation. If he can come through on ramp and land a kill, that could be the final piece falling into place. But Nexa has sussed this out. He knows it's a possibility. And with the death of Lowell, the round probably follows. Steel likely will want to try and save this AK-47. It'll be disappointing because they felt like they had a real chance, a real shot at breaking G2 back again with a Deagle buy. Instead, though, 13-5 deficit will be coming to fruition.
Yeah, on Nuke, every time we had moments like this, it just seemed like Riders were able to miraculously put the nail in the coffin. They could always finish it off. And even despite in a couple of these rounds having that early footing, they've got their hands on the ledge, but their grip, it slips. And now they're falling down the Grand Canyon, almost at the bottom, Vince. We could still see them. We could still hear them. But they are most certainly on that downwards trajectory here. Or are they? Maybe the parachute pull can come out. And if it will, it's because of this gun round. An actual full-fledged buy from Riders on the CT side. They needed that pistol to give themselves a nice, comfortable margin of error, that wiggle room that could have allowed for them to take some risks. Now the risks should be minimized. They've just got to shut down G2, and that is not easy ever, let alone at a 13-5 scoreline. Riders, they're going to try to go for the top mid spam, but Hunter, he goes right into action, wastes no time finding a slight angle, a smidgen of a headshot lined up there versus Steel. 5v4 for G2 early, minute 20 on the clock, and prying eyes from Alex in connector. He does the damage, doesn't quite finish off Amanek. 3 points of health, keeps the MAC-10 specialist alive. And now he might as well just try to gather information. He might as well try to throw a wrench in the works. And he's going to do that in window, finding the back of Mopaz turned. Oh my god, he jumps back out the window to join his 3 teammates. 4 guys in connector, Vince.
I think he's okay being the meat shield, and he does get countered. Very well played by Amanek and G2. Throw him to the wolves, let the rest of the pack devour and feast. And our Movistar Riders, they're up against it. AWP, M4, eyeing up a 14-5 deficit. That is going to come into play. They have to save. There's no money left in the bank barring Steel. And even then, behind these 2 save guns, it's going to be down to some real slim pickings. But better that than nothing. Lowell's going to perch up. If he can take Kenny down, by the way, he could pick up a secondary AWP. But Kenny instantly leaps up back into the sanctuary of the ramp. And now Nexa can come and help him out with the MAC-10. Goes from bad to worse. Easter's going to be the only player that could feasibly save. But Hunter, living up to the name, takes the head off of Easter. There will be no save guns today. Oh my god, Scrawny. This is looking almost impossible.
Yeah, I feel like that's a fair label. I would use the word impossible if they didn't have a buy. But this is their last chance with the full-fledged pot. So let's erase the impossible and label it improbable. Still very much against them, but at least Easter's got the op. Couple of Fami between Lowell and Alex. Smoke for the mid play. Steele, he's going to get into the ladder room, very quickly taking to the top of it as well. That could allow for him to watch downwards. Think about it. Steele last round was caught by Hunter, jumping up and getting the angle into the window. If instead Steele sits in this position, keeping eyes on window, then maybe he could get that element, that little edge over top of the first fight. But Steele, who was the gladiator, the saving guardian angel of riders on Nuke, Vince only has 4 kills, 20 rounds deep. He looked really good in these sorts of high-pressure moments, these big rounds, and here's his chance. He sees the gun of Kenny, goes for the wide swing, gets the one and done. Jax, quick trade. Tease could try and push the apartments. This time it's Mopaz, close proximity on the apps. MP9 is all he has to work with, and no teammate in the bomb site yet, but the rotate's coming over. Both teams understand it's B, and Amanek, he doesn't fully clear that corner. Mopaz, he's got that bomb blocked off. They're going to try for the entries on the bomb site itself, but without a bomb, they got to get that one in. Mopaz cuts off Jax, Alex kills Nexa, and it's all on Hunter, 1v3.
With the bomb, but he's being flanked. There's a player behind him. Lowell is moving through the shadows of the smoke and is about to have the drop on Hunter, and Mopaz actually takes it away from him. So Movistar do survive, live to fight another day, but how long that fight will last for is yet to be seen. G2 easily able to afford a rebuy, and keep in mind as well that they do have a good spawn for a peak as well. Kenny S with one of the best spawns to peak middle. I'm going to be curious to see if he goes for this with the AWP. By the looks of things, his team are actually staring towards ramp sides. That might indicate we're going to have a fast A play. Of course, with this timeout, they can figure out exactly what to do next.
Yeah, make sure all the procedures are in place. Get the emergency plan unraveled. All the blueprints. Flip through the pages of the playbook. Whatever you do, don't let riders start making money. Don't you give them a chance to continue the buy rounds. You know, on Nuke, they only hung on because they made the magic happen in those zany pistol rounds. Mirage, those rounds have not helped riders at all. Nexa, individually, 21-7. My goodness. We had just like the lights out, clearly better performance on the first map of Inferno, and now we're kind of getting that again. Oh! He just runs rampantly into that A site, immediately cuts the head off of Lowell. His body's still writhing in pain as Kenny S remains. Nexa gets another headshot, 5 versus 2. They've got the CTs completely boxed out. They're shooting them through smoke before they even have a chance to fight back, before they even have a chance to gather a little respect for themselves, Vince. Straight off of the pause. You know, they needed that extra 30 seconds to call for the elaborate 5 guys rush A.
I love it. I absolutely love it. After a tactical timeout, you're thinking, all right, what kind of 5-head big brain plays are they going to come out with? Nah, it's just Hunt to go kill. Hunt to go entry for us. And my God, did he. That was such a beautiful shot onto the shadow area of the box. Just destroys, decapitates the player. And then the aggression behind it, everybody on the same page for G2. Movistar Riders didn't know what hit them. They're able to save 2 guns at least, so with the rest of their economy, they can buy at least. That's a slight silver lining over that very dark cloud looming overhead. But they do have another buy to try and stand their ground and fight. But one more mistake, one more error in judgment or lapse in communication, they are done. G2 take this match.
This would be it. This would be the final match for riders in the CS Summit 6 RMR. Those coveted Valve major points is what everybody wants. Gotta milk it for every last one. And G2, well, 5 versus 4 straight out the gates of this 22nd round. They're going for that slow mid setup that Hunter has used to puncture through window more than once. Utility exchanged inside of connector, a missed Molotov.
not ideal. But with the opening pick onto Steel, G2 now can try and take some control over middle. No one catwalk, no one present whatsoever from Movistar. They're playing this one very passive, but they do have the flank. Eastor round the back with an AWP of all weapons. You're typically expecting maybe the MP9, but he's doing this with the AWP. The temerity to go for this play is huge, and they needed a play like this. They needed a desperation push to come into effect, but his teammates have gone down. And this is so unlucky for Eastor. I really feel for him. He had the right call, but everyone's dead. He can't flank onto a dead team. He's now just stood there hoping for the best in a post plant on A site. He's gonna find one. Flicks across to Jax, but counted instantly, and now Mopos, 1 versus 4, has got the first, but will stumble at the second hurdle, as will Movistar Riders. To win Nuke was really impressive, but Mirage was just a bridge too far.
Yeah, absolutely. Seems the case here, Vince. I will give the props to Riders, though. I came into this series expecting that straight up 2-0. And after Inferno, my initial feelings were just confirmed, so it seemed. So awesome resilience on that map of Nuke. Awesome showing from Steel as well to keep his team in the game throughout so many wild rounds on that second map. But then Mirage feels like we returned right back to where this series started. G2 in full control from the get-go, round after round. So G2 continue on in this 9th to 11th decider mini bracket that we've got going on. And, well, the CS Summit 6 continues as well, folks. The mainstream may still be going, but we're done here on the B stream for today. Vince and I will be back tomorrow at the same place, at the same time, for another best of 3. So hope to see each and every one of you guys there. Hope you enjoyed this showing from G2. They continue on and show us why they are ranked number 3 in the world right now. Ladies and gentlemen, till the next time, it's Scrawny and Vince signing off.